I am Yvonne, mediator, divorce custody life coach, and a principal at CAFO Law Firm. We're located in Dallas, Texas. On this channel, I would educate and empower you to resolve your own legal issues. My goal is to save you time, money, and help you minimize conflict, stress, and anxiety while going through one of the most difficult times in your life. Now, this channel cannot and does not contain any legal advice. The legal information is provided just for informational and educational purposes. Before taking any advice based on information you obtain from this channel, consult with a licensed attorney. We don't provide any legal advice, so reliance or the use of any information on our channel is solely at your own risk. Now, I love our case study week, and this is our case study week. Look out for tips while we analyze a real life situation. So in today's video, I will teach you about the power of a court order. We will discuss 4 different scenarios that will show you the power of having a court order. Let's get started. The first case, a situation where a mother who has primary control and care of the children decide to leave town, packs up the kids, and just left town. Father goes to the mother's home, and mother's parents tell him the children are no longer in that residence and that the ex-wife is no longer at the residence. They have relocated out of town, not just out of town, but out of state. Father decides to retain an attorney, immediately files an action. Now, there was never a court order in this case. The parties did not have a court order. And so the husband decides to file a new case. And this case is called a SAPSA, Suit Affecting Parent-Child Relationship. At this point, he's requesting the court to issue an order to bring back the children to Texas, bring back the kids to Dallas County. Well, what happens in this case depends on why mom left, what is the reason why mom had to relocate, and what is the reason why dad doesn't want the children to relocate. Now, the problem with this case is it's a 50-50 chance. The judge could decide that mom stays in whatever town or whatever city and state that she's moved to, or the court could make the mom return the children back to dad. And what ends up happening in a situation like this, in this particular case, is mom was allowed to remain out of town. Mom was allowed to remain in another state. But what the court did is the court waived the father's child support, but instead, what father should have been paying in child support was used as cost or, the expenses for bringing the child back for his visit. This is a very complicated case, especially because father is involved with the children. But the court had to make a decision. And in this case, father's not paying child support, but whatever father would have paid in child support is used to transport the children back to Texas for his visit. Now, the power of a court order in this case is that even if the power of a court order, in this scenario, if father had a court order just outlining what should happen and how the children should be managed, and include a geographical restriction, mom wouldn't have been able to just pack up the kids and leave. Because if mom did, then what father would have filed is a motion for enforcement, or would have filed a writ. And that means the father is filing for the court to order the mom to return the children. And in a situation like that, there is a good chance, or at least father has a better chance, of having the children returned back to him. So where there are 2 parties managing custody of a child, even if there are no conflicts, you want to get a court to sign an order because that order covers you. Second scenario, father had custody of the child, and the mother would come to visit periodically, and one day decided that she would take over the child. This is after 7 months of not seeing the child. She contacts father's relative and says, "Hey, I would like to meet with you at McDonald's so that I could visit with the child because father is not giving me access to the child. He's giving me a hard time." And so the relative thought this was a good idea, and so took the child to the agreed location. It's a frustrating situation now. There is no court order, so father cannot file a writ. Father cannot file an enforcement. The only remedy for father at this point is to file a SAPSER case, suit affecting parent-child relationship case. And in this situation, the court has to determine whether or not father should be the primary or mother should be the primary. And this could have been different if father, after the first month of mom not visiting the child, goes to court and files a SAPSER case and requests for the court to make a decision and appoint him as the primary parent. Now, if father had a court order, even if mom met with the relative and took the child, father has that order that says the child should have been with dad. And that would have saved father a whole lot of stress. Number 3, I hear a lot of people say, a lot of parents that have not had access to their children give excuses like, oh, they wouldn't let me get possession of the child. They have prevented me from seeing my child. Listen, that's not a good excuse. The reason why that's not a good excuse is a court order. A court order will prevent one party from withholding the child from you. So if you have a situation where one party, one parent, is refusing you access to your child, do not give that as an excuse. Go to court and get an order that gives you access to your child. Prevent the other party from controlling the situation and preventing you from seeing your child. You need a court order. The power of a court order will prevent the other party from withholding that child from you. So get a court order. Number 4, I hear parents say, I have not gotten any help from non-custodial parent. No help whatsoever, no money, no support. That's a big deal in Texas. If a non-custodial parent does not pay child support, if ordered to pay child support, they could go to jail. And so there is no excuse. If a parent is not providing support for the child, go up to court and file a SAPSER case requesting the court to issue an order requiring that the non-custodial parent pay child support. The next action, if they don't pay child support with the court order, is a motion for enforcement. And that's you telling the judge, Your Honor, they are not following the order to pay child support. Make them follow the order. And one of the ways that the court will make them follow the court order to pay child support is by sending them to jail. And so listen, there is every reason to have an order in a situation where you have two parents living separately. You don't have to be in a conflict situation to get a court order. It's actually very helpful in order to prevent conflict in the future. Click below to access my life coach program for coaching on when to seek a court order. Remember to follow my channel to learn more about the legal process. If you have not already done so, be sure to subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notification so that you are notified when I post a new video.